Let's get right into it. Number 9. The Benjamin Franklin effect. Imagine this. You're a social recluse, the kind of person who sweats when the barista asks about your day, and you want to make friends. The conventional wisdom says, do nice things for people. You bring them coffee. You help them move. You listen to their terrible stories about their ex, the whole routine. But what if that's all wrong? What if the secret to making someone like you is getting them to do you a favor? It sounds crazy, I know, but it's a psychological phenomenon so famous it was named after one of America's founding fathers, the guy who famously flew a kite in a thunderstorm and probably could have used some help. The story goes that Franklin wanted to win over a political rival. Instead of buttering him up, he simply asked to borrow a rare book. The rival, a man of pride, couldn't refuse. He lent Franklin the book, and when Franklin returned it, he expressed his gratitude sincerely. What happened next was the real magic trick. His rival, having performed a kindness for Franklin, unconsciously started to like him more. His brain essentially rationalized its behavior, thinking, I did this person a favor, therefore I must like this person. It's a classic case of cognitive dissonance. Your mind can't handle the idea of doing something nice for someone you dislike, so it just rewrites the script and decides you must like them. So, next time you want to make a new friend, don't buy them a drink. Just ask them to hold yours while you tie your shoe. Number 8. Mirroring. Ever been in a conversation with someone and found yourself subconsciously mimicking their body language? They lean forward, you lean forward. They cross their arms, you cross your arms. It's not because you're a creepy clone in training. It's a survival instinct so primal it's practically a handshake for your subconscious. This is called mirroring, and it's a powerful tool for building rapport, and you guessed it, trust. It's like your brain is whispering, hey, this person is on my side. Look, they even move like me. We are the same tribe. The next time you're trying to connect with someone, try a little deliberate mirroring. If they gesture with their hand, subtly gesture back. If they use a certain word or phrase, drop it into your own conversation a few minutes later. Be careful not to look like a mime, though. This has to be natural and subtle, almost invisible. The goal is to make them feel comfortable and understood, not to make them wonder if you're a glitch in the matrix. When you mirror someone, you're basically sending a non-verbal message that says, I am paying attention to you. I am with you. I am safe. It's an ancient caveman-era psychological trick that still works perfectly in a world of smartphones and social anxiety. Number 7. The reciprocity principle. Ever notice how people get a little twitchy and feel the need to pay you back after you've done something nice for them? You give someone a birthday gift, and suddenly they're buying you coffee next week. You help a friend move, and a few months later they're showing up at your house with a 6-pack, ready to help you reorganize your garage, even though you just wanted to get rid of a bunch of rusty bikes. That's the reciprocity principle in action, and it's one of the most powerful and kind of sneaky psychological hacks for building trust. It's simple, really. We've been wired for thousands of years to operate on a tit-for-tat system. Our ancestors probably didn't survive by being stingy. If you shared your antelope meat, your neighbor would probably share their berries and you both wouldn't starve. That's why when someone gives you something, even something small, you feel a deep, almost primal urge to give back. It creates a psychological debt that your brain just has to pay off. You can use this to your advantage. Offer someone a piece of gum, hold the door, or give them a compliment. Nothing over the top, just a small, genuine gesture. They'll unconsciously feel a little more connected to you, a little more obligated, and a little more likely to trust you. It's not about manipulation. It's about jump-starting a virtuous cycle of mutual kindness, and it all starts with a single small act. Number 6. The Pratfall effect. You know that person in your life who seems so perfect, it's actually kind of annoying? They never trip, they always say the right thing, and they probably iron their socks. You might admire them from a distance, but do you really trust them? Probably not. We tend to be wary of perfection. It's unnatural, it's intimidating, and it's a little bit suspicious. Our brains are hardwired to trust people who are, well, human. That's where the Pratfall effect comes in. This psychological phenomenon states that when a competent person makes a small mistake, a pratfall, We like and trust them more. We see their flaw and think, they're just like me. They're relatable. They're not a robot. Think of your favorite celebrity. It's not their flawless public image that makes you love them. It's the video of them tripping on stage or the interview where they accidentally burp. That little moment of humanity makes them feel real. So if you're trying to build trust with someone, don't be afraid to show a little vulnerability. Spill your coffee on your shirt, admit you messed up a project at work, or tell a self-deprecating story about a time you totally embarrassed yourself. It makes you seem more authentic and less intimidating. The key is that the mistake has to be small and harmless, not a life-altering blunder. You're not trying to prove you're a total klutz. You're just showing that you're not a perfect fraud. Number 5, the halo effect. Ever met someone and immediately decided you like them, even though you know nothing about them? Maybe they have a nice smile, they're wearing a cool t-shirt, or they just exude a certain vibe. This is the halo effect, and it's a mental shortcut our brains take to save energy. When we see one positive trait, like being physically attractive, we unconsciously assume they have other positive traits too, like being trustworthy, intelligent, and kind. It's why we think that hot movie star would be a great president, even though their only real political experience is playing one in a film. It works in reverse too. If someone has one negative trait, like a scowl or a reputation for being late, we assume they're also rude, lazy, and probably steal office supplies. Our brain takes one piece of information and uses it to paint the entire picture, which can be pretty unfair, but it's just how we're wired. To use the halo effect to your advantage, you don't need to be a supermodel. Just focus on a single positive trait you can control. Dress sharply, be on time, or bring a small, thoughtful gift. These little things create a positive halo around you, making people more likely to trust and like you from the get-go. Number 4, the shared experience. Think about the last time you went through something tough with someone. Maybe you were both stuck in a terrible meeting, or you had to pull an all-nighter to finish a project, or you got lost in a new city and had to figure your way out together. After the ordeal, you probably felt closer to that person. This isn't a coincidence. It's a powerful psychological hack called shared experience. When two people go through something stressful or unusual together, their brains release a rush of chemicals that create a powerful sense of bonding. It's as if your brain says, "This person and I survived this thing. We are a team now." This is why military veterans often have such an intense bond, why people who go through tough training together become lifelong friends, and why a little bit of shared misery can be a powerful connector. You can use this to build trust, too. It doesn't have to be a life or death situation. It could be as simple as tackling a difficult puzzle together, complaining about a mutual problem, or going on a long hike. The key is that you are both facing the same challenge and working together to overcome it. This shared struggle creates a shortcut to intimacy and trust that would otherwise take months or even years to build. Number 3, the power of vulnerability. We're told to be strong, to never show weakness, and to keep our emotional cards close to our chest. But that advice, it turns out, is a terrible way to build trust. In fact, the opposite is true. The most powerful way to connect with someone and earn their trust is to be vulnerable. Think about it. When someone tells you a secret or admits to a mistake, you feel special. You feel like they've let you into their inner circle. That act of opening up creates a powerful bond. It's like a psychological trust fall. They've shown you their imperfect human side, and in doing so, they've given you permission to be imperfect too. Vulnerability shows that you're not afraid to be seen for who you really are, and that kind of courage is incredibly attractive. So don't be afraid to share a personal struggle, admit you're scared, or show a moment of genuine emotion. It doesn't have to be a big, dramatic confession. It could be as simple as saying, "I'm nervous about this presentation," or "I'm having a rough day." These small acts of vulnerability are like little keys that unlock other people's trust. Number 2, shared secrets. You know that feeling when a friend tells you something in confidence? The moment they say, "Don't tell anyone this," a special kind of bond is formed. This is the power of shared secrets. When you share a secret, you are essentially creating an exclusive club of two. You are both now guardians of a piece of information that the rest of the world doesn't have, and that creates an incredible sense of intimacy and trust. It's a fundamental human instinct to feel like we're part of an inner circle, and nothing does that better than a secret. This is why gossip can be so compelling. It's not just the juicy details. It's the fact that you and the person you're gossiping with are in on something together. To use this to build trust, you don't have to be a source of constant, dramatic secrets. It could be as simple as saying, "Just between you and me," before you tell them something innocuous, like the real reason you chose to go to a certain restaurant, or what you really think of a new movie. The secret itself is less important than the act of sharing it. It's the gesture of trust that makes them feel trusted in return. Number 1, the principle of scarcity. This is it. The final and arguably most powerful psychological hack of all. You've heard it 1,000 times in infomercials and sales pitches, limited time only, or only 2 left in stock. This is the principle of scarcity, and it works on a deep, primal level. We humans are wired to want things more when they're harder to get. When something is rare, we unconsciously assume it's more valuable, and that feeling of urgency makes us act. We don't want to miss out, and that fear of loss is a much stronger motivator than the desire for gain. You can use this to your advantage, not to sell a product, but to build trust and connection. Make yourself a little scarce. Don't be available at the drop of a hat. Don't respond to every text or email instantly. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about signaling that your time and attention are valuable. When someone feels like they've earned your time, they'll appreciate it more and trust you more deeply. It's the difference between being a free buffet that everyone takes for granted and being the rare 5-star restaurant that people go out of their way to book a reservation at. It's a simple shift in psychology that says, I'm not always available, so when I am, it's special. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.